Listen, you've got gifts to wrap, parties to plan, shopping to do. The holiday season is guaranteed to get busy. But Suzy Robertson says if you meal prep now, you can spend less time worrying about what's for dinner later when it's time to do the joyful stuff, celebrate with family and friends. Good to see you, Suzy.
Good to see you.
You're always an advocate of meal planning, but you say especially during the holiday season.
Yes, life gets so busy. So if we prep right now, let's do this before December hits, you're gonna be set. There's so much sugar and sweets around. We need to have those meals at home.
Good bases ready to go.
Yes.
Today you're pointing us to a soup that you describe as lighter. What's the soup, first of all?
So Zuppa Toscana.
Oh yes, and what makes it lighter?
So we're doing a couple things. We're gonna omit the bacon, which I know some people are gonna be like, but you could still add a little bit of bacon bits if you want. But the sausage is gonna give it that meaty, hearty flavor. So we do have sausage, but we're gonna use turkey sausage.
Okay.
So we're making that a little bit lighter.
Which in a soup, I wouldn't think you'd even really notice.
No, and then we're gonna use whole milk instead of cream or half and half. So we're just lightening it up with the cream base as well. So, but it's delicious. I promise we never sacrifice flavor.
I know you don't. I've learned that about you. And I wouldn't have thought to, I've made this soup before. I wouldn't have thought to make it in freezer form. So teach us how to do this. Okay,
so you're gonna just add a little bit of avocado oil.
And what is this setup station you've got going on?
So isn't this awesome? These stands are so great. And you can get them on Amazon for really cheap, and they come in like a 10-pack, and you can set them all up. And it just makes freezer meals so easy to do in bulk, because then you can just dump, right?
Yeah.
I tell people, get together with your friends, make 10, and then switch. You know, you can just make 10 of one. If you have these little stands, it makes it so easy.
Bring back the freezer swap. So onions and avocado oil.
Onions, avocado oil. We've got a bunch of kale we're gonna throw in there. And the kale you just kind of chop up. You can even buy it pre-chopped at the store.
I already feel good about it. Look at that kale.
Right. Okay, and then we've got our turkey sausage. Just gonna cut that in half. You can break it apart into pieces if you want, but it will cook up nice and break apart once.
So we're not even pre-cooking that?
No.
Okay.
No, we're dumping everything in.
Okay.
And I'd say make a couple at a time for sure.
Yeah.
I like pre-minced garlic for freezer meals. I love fresh garlic, but in freezer meals, let's save the time, right?
And it probably doesn't matter all that much.
No, it doesn't, especially when you cook it.
Yeah.
And then this is my Orrington Farms chicken broth powder. You know I love this. So this is a time and space saver, because you can add in the broth. So this is 1/4 cup of this, but then I don't have to add the water, and I'll just add the water right before. So you can see on my bag, I always label what to do. So I'm gonna add the 6 cups of water when I go to cook it, and so we don't have to have 6 cups of liquid in here.
Nice.
We're just putting in the powder or the base first.
Okay, so eliminating the liquid altogether until it's time to cook and prepare.
Yes, and then we can put in the water. So
it smells so good.
If people use chicken broth, they can just dump the chicken broth in there, but it's just gonna make it easier and save space. And then just a mix of seasonings. We've got pepper and oregano, basil, thyme, and a little bit of red pepper flakes for that heat too.
This is a wake me up kitchen day. It does smell really good.
So that's pretty much, okay. Oh, and here's my last tip. So Zuppa Toscana normally has the sliced potatoes.
Right.
But for some reason with freezer meals, the way they make these frozen potatoes,
it's like they were meant to be frozen.
Yes, right? They're meant to be frozen, and they just freeze really well and cook up really well and don't go super mushy. So even if you're doing like a beef stew or anything like that, using those frozen potatoes, they're gonna cook up better. So
you load the bag. That gadget is so slick. Freeze it. It can freeze for how long?
Yes. They say to use them within 3 months, but I've had some 6 months to a year, and
no one's judging. No one's telling.
So what I like to do is push out all the air and then fold it over, and I like to freeze them like this. You'll see that we've got a couple over here on display as well that are all frozen in half, because if you lay them flat, some people freeze them flat, but then you have a big old hard awkward piece of something you're trying to get into the crock pot.
Doesn't fit into your pot.
Yes, so you want to push out all the air, make it nice and rolled over, so you can just throw it in the crock pot and it fits.
We load it in the crock pot, we add the water, and then we're set.
And we cook, Done. And then at the end, we're gonna add the milk. You can add milk or cream to a crock pot, but especially cream will curdle in that excessive heat all day. So adding the milk right before serving is gonna, or cream or whatever people are gonna add. I'm gonna add milk. It won't curdle. So we wanna add dairy products last if possible.
Good tip. Lots of great tips here as we lean into getting ahead of ourselves, getting ahead of dinner time at the early point of the month, so we set ourselves up for success later. Suzy, thank you. You have a class coming up on freezer meals, on this topic.
Yes, so healthy holiday freezer meals. Mickey Everhart and I are put together 6 of our favorite meals. We're gonna make 12. We're gonna do 2 of each one. It's gonna be so much fun, live over Zoom. And she's also doing a bonus class on how to stay healthy through the holidays. And so it's gonna be a lot of fun. They can sign up through either one of our Instagrams. There's a link, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
That's a power team. That's a power team right there. We'll link you over to Suzy's Instagram, where you can get more information about the class that she mentioned and more information on her recipe inspiration. Thank you so much, Suzy. Happy holidays to you.
You too.